tonight? Right? Give yourselves a big round of applause. I'm so glad you're here tonight to laugh, to have a great time. We have an excellent lineup of comics. It's going to be a great evening together. I feel like you guys feel like there's good vibes in here?
Yeah.
Yes, perfect. Well, Level Up Stand Up is a showcase of wonderful comedic talent. I'm going to be your host. My name is Ellen Lundy. In high school, my nickname was Ellen Lundy. Yeah, yep. Everyone just called me by my first and last name constantly. It was one of those nicknames. And although you could say my friends were creative, right? But my parents were actually the original adopters when they put it on my birth certificate. Yeah. And people still call me Ellen Lundy to this day. Like I was sitting in the doctor's office the other week, and everyone gets called by their first name. They're like Brenda, Sam, when they come and take you back. But I'm sitting there and I'm just playing on my phone, looking down, and I hear, Ellen Lundy? What? That's a HIPAA violation right there. And I look up and I'm like, Caitlin, class of 08, what is up? She's just using my nickname, waiting room, it's fine. And you all can use my nickname because it's my name. So go ahead and use it. Thank you. Yeah, we're all friends here. I actually had some really good news from actually a high school friend. We're still friends to this day. I'm so thankful for her. And she and her husband are expecting their first child. Woo! Yeah, it's wonderful news. And she apparently told her husband, she told her family, and then instead of telling her best friend that she's known since the 7th grade, she told her dental hygienist. Yeah. And she told her dental hygienist because I guess they wanted her to do x-rays, and you can't radiate a baby. Okay, fine. But when the dental hygienist heard that they wanted to do x-rays, they're like, well, we can't do x-rays because of you're expecting, but we would like to play a game. I'm like, I don't want to play any games at the dentist. But apparently, they wanted to play these like old-timey games where they had her put her hands out, and whatever way they went meant if she was going to have a boy or a girl. And then with her outstretched hands, they took a pencil, they rubbed it on her wrist, and then they taped it onto a string and put it above her head. And whatever way it swang, then if the baby was going to be early or late. I was just like, what kind of witches work at your dentist's office? That's so weird. Like, you go to the dentist, and then you're sitting there, and they do the flossing, but when you go home later, you pull out like a lace wing fly. Or that little water fountain, it just bubbles up with the blood of the ages every once in a while. Or instead of giving you Novocaine, they're just like, we're just gonna burn some sage. And I think it's pretty unprofessional. It seems like a bad place to do these weird games. But what is even more unprofessional is that these ladies have so much access to teeth. Like, they have little molar altars at home. They make little canine necklaces to ward off the spirits, that kind of stuff. And then, if you want to take, of course, they're getting their unprofessional cues from the dentist, the person that owns this practice. And here's how you know this guy is not a professional. He came in and they saw that the hands were going and the string was going. And he looks at my friend and he goes, oh, you knocked up. That's very unprofessional. What was even worse was that he had forgotten to take off his goat mask from the ritual slaughter. Come on. Well, I still have a lot of connections in the area, but I used to live in the suburbs. That's where I grew up. Any suburban folks? Like outside of town? Yeah? Yeah? Cool. But now I live in the city, and I live in an apartment, because I can't afford to buy anything, right? But I see the same cars parked by me all the time in a little apartment parking lot. And I actually have lucked out into a nice spot and I have to live with multiple roommates to live in it. But you see the cars out there. And I'm like, ooh, I wonder what apartment person belongs to this car. Like, who is the Tesla tool bag? Is it that guy? Is it that guy? Who is the Porsche princess? It must be that girl. She has a nice purse. Yeah? Or there was this one car, It was just a regular red, like, domestic car, but it had a little anime figurine on the rearview mirror. And I was like, oh my goodness. Where is the skittish little nerd with pleated jeans in my building? The greasy white guy that lives here. I cannot wait to pick out this person. And every time I saw, like, not cool sandals, but like sport tech sandals with socks, I'm like, that has to be red car. That is red car. And then I saw someone getting out of red car the other day. And it was a woman. Yeah. It was a Japanese woman. I was like, okay, that's my bias. That's my bias. That's me. It's on me. My bias is that the person with the anime figurine is an actual person from the culture of Japan instead of a nerdy white guy. That's on me. It's on me. But we all have our biases, right? We are layered with these things, and you can do bad things with them, and I'm trying to fight some of my biases, like making all of these kind of snap judgments. And one of my unfortunate layers is that I was a Civil War kid. I loved the Civil War. I loved the Civil War so much that from about the grades like 5 to 9, I would ask to go to the Gettysburg battlefield for my birthday and visit the cemetery instead of having human interaction. I was a Civil War kid, and I knew battle tactics as a preteen and teenage girl, so you can tell why the human interactions didn't happen. Because I can tell you this, the Civil War had so many casualties because all of the Civil War generals went to the same school. So basically, you had these conversations going on in Civil War battles. Like, you'd have the Southern general and be like, hey, Ulysses, you want to battle at 4? And Ulysses would be like, Robert E. That's Robert E. Lee, if you're not a Civil War kid. Robbie E. I'm kind of busy. Where are you at? Oh, Ulysses, I'm in this town, Stonewall. Where are we at? Oh, we're in Gettysburg. Okay, but I'm not sure. I don't want to battle. But then Robbie E. goes, Ulysses, don't worry. What we're going to do is what they taught us. We're going to stand across from each other in an open field. And then I'm going to play some drums. I'm going to play some trumpets so you know exactly where we are. And Robert E., he goes, Ulysses, you going to be doing the same thing? He goes, yeah, man, I can't let the teachers down. And then they line up across that open field and it's just like, and everyone died. That's the Civil War. But I started actually learning so much about the Civil War because I loved the fiction that came out of it, like Gone with the Wind. Yeah, it does not hold up. It's such a racist movie. There's a lot of racism in there. And I read a lot of historical fiction. And just like in Gone with the Wind, a lot of these books, they try to have you picture some of the characters as good and some of the characters as bad. And you'd think that would be North and South. But they were like, good slave owner, evil slave owner. The evil slave owner is mean, and the evil slave owner hits their slaves. That's the evil one. But the good one is an okay guy. He owns people, but he doesn't hit them. That's where bias starts, right there. And we should be fighting against that because the evil slave owner and good slave owner dichotomy is just like when billionaire corporations give their employees donut day. Or when it's hospital appreciation week or teacher appreciation week and they give their employees a rock that says, you rock. That's it. You can do more. You can pay people. Like money for doing a job. All right, yeah. Oh man. So I was a Civil War kid, and that means that obviously I've dealt with my own nerdiness, with my own weird passions, and my own kind of just knowing I'm not that cool, right? Like I love sports documentaries. I really love motorcycles, that are in the World War II Museum. Oh, and I love heavy metal covers by string quartets. But to make you feel that I'm a little cooler, this is a joke I always like to end with. Anyone know the universal funny numbers? They're 420, and the best one? 69! And when I say 69, nice. I like it. I like the universal funny numbers because they give me friends to have a joke with. And it's a good vibe, a good community of having something funny. So when I say 69, everyone goes, nice. Oh, thank you so much. You guys are a great crowd. We have an amazing lineup for you today. And we are going to start out with our first comedian, the very funny Zevon Vasquez.